Good afternoon and good evening to everybody around the world. How are you doing? I am your happy-go-lucky hooligan host, Captain at Soka, joined in the booth today by none other than the real, not the fake, Mobags. Mobags, how you feeling tonight, homie?
Oh, I am feeling good. We just had a great series after we had another great series, and I'm sure that this one between the Hive and the Eclipse is going to be yet another fantastic series.
And not only that, but now since this season we're introducing like the 3v3s, it's nice to get back to some of those classic 2v2s. You know what I'm talking about? Where MLE got its start back with minor league doubles. As much as I love the 3v3 competition, I still love seeing a good 2v2 match every now and again.
Yeah, and I don't know if you tuned in for the last one, but we had a Rule 1 on the field, and it felt like good old times, back to the 2v2. But that is what we're going to have for 5 games, 5 minutes at a time. And I'm just really excited to hop into this one because it should be full throttle action the entire time.
You know what's really funny? The reason that I love the Rule 1 so much is because when you see it play out on the field, and Rocket League, Lord forbid, that someone breaks it, the chat lets them feel it in the most spectacular way. So when you see a Rule 1 breakdown live on stream, you know they're going to hold it.
Oh, they're going to hold it unless something catastrophic happens, like a demo. Who could imagine something like that happening in a game of Rocket League? But we're going to be jumping into this one pretty quickly right now. Let's just quickly say who we have on the field. We have Silence and OG Krish on the side of the Eclipse, and on the side of the Hive, we're going to be featuring Fairway and Wubby.
I'm going to have so much fun with those names. Just saying, for those that don't know or couldn't tell, I have a background in improv, and I love having fun with these people's names because every time I'm in MLE, I see more and more names come through the season, and each time they just get better and better. But with that being said, let's put 5 minutes on the clock. Game number 1 is underway.
Yeah, and I've got a couple of ideas bouncing around in my head for some puns, so be on your toes for that as we get into this one. The Hive starting off on the attack, grabbing some demos, but now retreating back and grabbing some boost. We're going to see how that plays out. A couple of misses early on here for the Eclipse. This could be a good opportunity. Not going to fight its way to the back of the net as the Eclipse get this one pushed all the way back down. A good shot coming in. Fairway going to put a stop to that and send it all the way down. Bit of ping pong action early on in this game.
Which is not surprising. That's typically how a game 1 goes. You know, everybody's feeling each other out. They're getting used to everything, and you know they're trying to read one play at a time. Really not trying to push too hard. So we're used to seeing that kind of just stagnated, you know, Rocket League in the beginning. But plays will soon be in development. And one thing that I'm already noticing off jump is that we're making that 2v2 transition, so the rotation is going to be different as well. My analytical brain wants to just jump into the 3v3 game mode that we're used to, but I got to remember we're playing 2s.
Yeah, this is 2s, and Wubby's clearing this one out all the way down. I want to point out that we've seen a few more demos on the side of the Hive, so maybe that aggressive play is going to be part of their game plan for the series. It remains to be seen as we are still scoreless. A minute and a half has gone off of the clock. No one really getting anything interesting happening quite yet as far as chances, but there is yet another demo as the Hive continue to be very physical in this match.
Now, the authentic Mobags, I want to pick your brain about something real quick, because we were talking about, you know, how we're seeing these demo plays really unfold here, and I want to ask you, do you think that demos are more formidable? But hang on, hold the phone. OG Krish is going to score the first goal of this game and of the series.
Yeah, and really just putting a deceptive amount of power on that. Fairway seemingly in a good position to get it just barely outside of the kind of area where he needed to be to get the save. That is a good read on the side of OG Krish, and Silence is going to put that one in, and just like that, they've got a 2-goal lead seemingly out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Silence will tell you that real G's do in fact move in silence. That 50-50 right off the jump. Already already, that's the worst thing when you get scored on, is to immediately get scored on again off the kickoff. But back to going to that previous topic I was asking you about, because we're talking about demos in the 2v2. Do you think it's more pivotal to, you know, get demo plays in the 2v2 than it is in the 3v3?
I think they both have their place in the game. 2v2 immediately turns it into a 2v1, and that is a huge advantage. But on the side of threes, if you get a demo on that back line, all of a sudden you're having two players that are trying to kind of cover for their teammate that just got destroyed, and that can lead to a lot of chaos. We've seen it time and time again, and we might see it here despite it being twos. That can be a lot of chaos happening as we see yet another shot go in here for the Eclipse. That goal again, seemingly out of nowhere, just not in the right position, was, I believe that was Wubby, just not able to get back quick enough, ended up on the other end of the ball, and now they have a 3-goal lead.
Now, see, on that play, I felt like Wubby actually did get back there in time. The only problem is that the accuracy wasn't there. Just seemed to kind of like jump the gun, maybe a little too early, didn't have enough time to get a read on the ball. They just really went all out just to get back to the net, which I don't blame them. I would have did the same thing. But it was, I think that was more of like good shot placement on the offender than a mishap by the defender.
Yeah, and that is fair enough. That is definitely good shot placement, no matter how you look at it. And now the Hive need to get something going, but this is going to be yet another shot that nearly goes in. Wubby, a miraculous save on the goal line, gonna keep the game score 3. They still have a lot of work to do, but that was a great save to put them in a good position.
Yep, and now look at Wubby going up high, down in the middle, looking for the fairway on that play, but could not get it, and now a scoring opportunity coming back around, and here come the demos. Open that opportunity, and OG Chris going to send that one down, and now they are up 4-0.
Yeah, and I don't think that is a demo that you wanted to get. It might have been sort of the Hive, or rather the Eclipse player, just kind of body blocking, trying to get that net as open for as long as possible. It pays off here for the Eclipse. A commanding 4-goal lead, make it 5-goal lead. The Eclipse running away with game 1. The Hive need to reground themselves and figure out what they have to do to counter.
Now you see this little maneuver here, you know, coming from OG Chris, I like to call the Finnick finesse, because it could be a placebo effect and I could be mistaken, but something about the Finnick just, to me, just feels like the flicks hit a little bit harder, and that's what I think I just saw coming from OG Chris right there, OG Chris right there off the kickoff.
Yeah, that was definitely some Finnick swagger that we are seeing on display. Hive still trying to get something going, but it is going to be awfully hard with the amount of pressure that we are seeing coming from the Eclipse.
And finally, guess what? We have a pulse. We have a sign of life. Wubby brings the Hive back to life with a nice little self-pass and a good touch right there on the nose, just barely scraping by the sidebar there. But regardless, remember, here at MLE, everything counts. So, and especially when you're playing in a competitive scene, you always want to go down swinging. So even if you're down 5-0 or 10-0, still does not mean you give up at any point in time until that clock hits 0.
Yeah, and I'm sure crazier things have happened. It's just a tall order when the Eclipse are putting on as many shots, and as good as the shots have been, it is awfully tough here for the Hive. They're not going to come back in this one. I'm going to go ahead and call that one right now. But good momentum going into the second game is what the Hive are looking to establish, and right now the Eclipse are giving it all they can. Is that double tap attempt is going to go very far in the opposite direction. Hive back on the attack.
Yeah, and I gotta say, one thing that I'm starting to notice now as we watch the plays develop more and more, and this game is nearly over. It just kind of seems like the positioning and the rotation that they're trying to do on the Hive side just really isn't like a 2v2's rotation. They just seem to be found kind of like caught in that 3-style rotation, and they're being found out of net nearly every time the Eclipse score.
Yeah, maybe sort of in that mentality. I'm not sure sort of what their preferred playlist is, if it is 2s, if it is 3s, let me kind of backtrack a bit. If it is 3s, then they are definitely going to sort of be used to having that last man back and having to sort of rewire their brains mid-game to figure out like, oh no, I am second and third man on this play. I can't necessarily pass it to my teammate, which I saw the Hive trying to do in this game, because they're gonna get attacked. They're gonna get tackled at that midfield line if you're trying to pass it there. And the Eclipse took full advantage. They had not all of the pressure, but a good portion of the pressure. They made all of the saves they had to from the shots that the Hive were putting on. And this is just a really good performance here from the Eclipse.
Yep, and now it's time for one of my favorite segments, Caps Analysis, where we're going to break down some of these stats that we see here. If we're looking clearly for the Eclipse, the top player on that team had 4 goals, but let's not ignore the underneath the support player that was coming in with just 1 goal, but still was managing to come down with some assists, and I want to say at least 5 saves. So you have your support role character, and then you have, your offensive, striker on that play. So if you're hitting roles and it's working, keep playing your role. You can still get like a lot of highlight plays done if you're even playing that support role. If you're main striker and you have a teammate that's hitting, just feed them the ball. If it's working, keep going with it. And I think they have a really good synergy going on over there for the Eclipse.
Yeah, and Rocket League, not a positional style game. Everybody has to play every position on the field. We don't have any Gibbs players in our league or in Rocket League anymore for that matter. So everybody's got to do everything. But if you prefer to be on defense and you can get yourselves into positions where it is advantageous for you to be so, by all means, take full advantage as we see the Hive try to get something going. They want to get this game down. That is a dangerous attempt at a clear from the Eclipse, and it is going to go unpunished for now, but nearly getting another one in, broken up by OG Krish, and now the Eclipse trying to get back on this counterattack.
I'm not gonna lie, when the Hive were just now attacking, I saw like a huge opportunity for a counterattack, and I think they got really lucky that the Eclipse didn't take advantage of that, because for my taste, take whatever I say with a grain of salt, but I felt like the Hive were pushing up way too far for a twos match, and I think they just did it again, and it might come back to bite them. But luckily enough, Wubby got back in time to play a little defense.
Yeah, Wubby playing a bit of defense at the moment. 2 saves to his name. No shots yet for the Hive. It looked like it was going to be dangerous, but it turns out nothing was on target. No worse for wears are the Eclipse, and the Hive need to get something going. Fairway, no boost to his name. His teammate demoed, and now this is a dangerous assault from the Eclipse happening right before our eyes.
Yeah, and we just saw Silence barely miss off the sidebar there, and I got to tell you, I already know how Silence feels about that one, because that was a beautiful play executed from the pass to the shot, and then only the shot was nearly off, just barely too. So it's really nothing to hang your head low about, but I know that Silence is going to want to have that one back.
Oh, you definitely want every opportunity back that you don't put in, and now we see this one gonna find its way in. OG Krish putting in the first goal of this second game, and the Eclipse kind of right back in the position they were before. They find themselves with a lead. Are they going to hold on to it? Can the Hive respond, or are they going to run away with this one yet again like we saw in the last game?
Yeah, now, by all means, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, and if you have to, just say it. Cap is capping. But just let me break this down. Tell me if y'all don't notice that, it seems like the Eclipse are being a lot more patient, and they're spreading the field a lot better, and they're taking their time. I feel like the Hive are playing this go, go, go offense, and it's really coming back to bite them every single time. I mean, granted, it's only a 1-goal lead now, but I just feel like, they're just pushing a tad bit too hard, and I think the Eclipse are really placing their shots and taking their time, and it's paying off for them.
Yeah, and I will put a slight hint of cap, because the Hive, despite having that pressure, despite committing maybe too much at times, they haven't registered a shot on goal yet. They have to do that if they want any chance in the game. You can't win without shooting on target, and that is yet another one not on target. The player maybe not going to be back for that one, but didn't have to make a save. It didn't find its way on the net, and now the Hive are still sitting back in this defensive pose now. They have to get the offense going, and they have to get it going soon.
Yep, now Silence with a beautiful, nice little finesse and flair on that save. But this one's going to go the other way towards the Hive corner. And what could have been a good midfield pass is broken up, of course, going along the side for Wubby. And is met by OG Krish. And, you know, it's really right now becoming a battle for the midfield, which is exactly what I wanted to see. And now a scoring opportunity will be had from the fairway. Who will hit it on the green? They're going to tie the goal up. They're going to tie the score up at 1.
Yeah, and I don't think that ball was getting saved. Even if that demo doesn't happen, it looked like the Eclipse player was going back for boost, thinking that maybe there wasn't going to be an attack, but they were immediately punished for that decision, getting demoed and then getting scored on in quick succession. We've got ourselves a tie game. There is almost a minute left in this one. I don't know who's going to take it, but the Eclipse have seemingly been the stronger team thus far, despite the scoreline.
I'm starting to see the Hive start to get a little mean. You know, somebody shook up the Hornets' nest just a little bit because their demos are coming out pretty heavy. Even on the last play, you said, oh, even with the demo, you know, that ball was probably still going in. But if the Hive got a little attitude about them, it doesn't matter. We're still going to get a demo if we can get one. And I think that might be shaking them up a little bit, but Silence will not be shaken up at all. A nice patient read off the backboard will pay off, and now they take the lead back.
Yeah, fairway, you really just have to get that clear. There's nothing that you can say. There's no hairs to split there. You have to find a touch on that ball there, or unless you want to be giving up open nets shots to Silence. Not a lot of power on that shot, but it didn't matter. It was just so open that it was really just tap it in, and that's all you had to do. And now the Hive find themselves down yet again, needing to respond. I think they can do it, as this one is going to find its way in. What a great 50-50 to get that ball into the net. That is what you want to see if you are a Hive fan. They're going to tie this game up, less than 30 seconds to go.
You know what's crazy? Well, first of all, I got to give a shout out to Wubby's little low 5. Wubby, I see what you did there. I saw that nice little low 5 after that score. But what's crazy to me right now is that we see Fairway scoring. Won the beautiful 50 on that last goal, was able to finish it, and now got 2 goals on the board. But with the higher score count, it's going to Wubby. Wubby playing absolute lights out defense with 5 saves. And like again, you know, even from the other team, from Eclipse to Hive, we're seeing them kind of fall into positions a little bit.
Yeah, and based on the percentages that we're seeing there, those saves were necessary. No one gonna be there to get that save, though. OG Krish putting that one in and putting the Eclipse up very late in this game. Not a lot of time left.
Literally only 3 seconds, 3 ticks of a watch away from a victory here. And the dynamic duo of OG Krish and Silence has just been absolutely clicking. The synergy 100% there. I got to point out already, because you know how much I love pass plays. It's the pass plays that win the games. And on that game, it was literally 3 passes, 2-3 goals, 3-2 win Eclipse.
Yeah, and that is just a lot of pressure. If you are the Hive, now they're down 2. They have to reverse sweep. But I heard this yesterday. You can't reverse sweep unless you lose the first 2 games. So they are leaving the door open for that. It is still their series to take. I just need to see them moving a bit quicker, taking advantage of the shots that they get and putting shots on target. That is, I think, the number one thing that we have to see from them, because 2 saves coming from the side of the Eclipse is not a whole lot. The Hive making 5 saves. All the balls that they didn't save were in the back of the net.
Right. And then again, just to even bring further attention to that, as far as like possession goes, we see with the Eclipse, they were able to recover 9 shots compared to the Hive's 4. Like OG Krish by themselves has the total shot count of the other team, and then Silence coming in with 5 shots taken. Like, it's clear who's having the majority possession of the ball, and that has got to change. Don't get me wrong, I love the aggression and I love the attitude that's coming from the Hive, but to me, it just lacks direction. I say take that energy, control it, and direct it in the right way, and then you're going to be able to take a win from this Eclipse team.
Yep, exactly. Could not have said it better myself. They have to find a direction in this match. It starts right now. We have 5 minutes. This is a brand new game. They can take complete control of it if they want to, but they have to start soon. And OG Krish is going to put no chance for them to do that whatsoever, scoring right off this kickoff, 4 seconds down, and they are already up 1.
And this is a little bit of a word to the wise, because I myself have played a fair amount of Rocket League. You know, I've been in, GC to the 1800s back in my day, back in the olden days, back when GC still had a yellow tag and not a red one. But again, a little tidbit of advice. Even if there's a goalie in the net, do not be afraid to shoot, because anything over 60 miles an hour is still going to be hard to score on. But of course, we can't sleep on the floaters like this one from Wubby that literally just goes the full distance off the field, and a nice touch off the ceiling will make it hard for any defender to read.
Yeah, nowhere near that 60-mile-an-hour threshold that you had set, but it is going to go in nonetheless. The Hive answering quickly. That is exactly what they had to do in this one to change sort of the script of the game. It had seemed like the Eclipse were the ones on top, but now they are finally able to answer in quick succession, and this is, again, their game to win. This is a new ball game, and they are a new team out on the field right now.
And speaking of brand new, how about a brand new goal? That feels good. 2-1 now in the favor of the Eclipse. Nice handling here, a lot of patience and a lot of time being taken. Not, they're not really going above and beyond. Like, Silence wasn't exactly trying to play it to where, I'm going to take the ball and I'm going to run away with it and I'm going to score by myself. Silence knew the entire time, I have another player waiting out there for the wing. So just take your time, mellow it out, get past one and then the other, and then boom, open net. Easy goals, GG.
And listen, honestly, I think that one was on me just a bit. The caster's curse, sort of immediately after I praise them and tell them it's a brand new game, they get scored on, so I can't help but feel at least a little bit responsible. But the sentiment still remains. They have an opportunity in this match. We are only a minute off the clock. Anything can happen, and a lot has happened in the minute, but it's not something to dwell on if you are the Hive.
Yeah, and right now the Hive have always been, pretty close, either down by 1 goal or, in the worst scenario for the Hive, they've been down 2. And hold the phone. Did anybody else see the player just kind of skyrocket past the ball? That feels bad. Unfortunate for that one, but still, Fairway looking to get a double touch there. And now another whiff after whiff. I think we're taking a trip to Whiff City.
Yeah, we're in Whiff City in full effect, and we got to get something going, as that one is going to be nearly dangerous for the Eclipse. The Hive going to get out scot-free, starting their attack of their own. Fairway looking for the bump. The shot not on target from Wubby. I know that he wants to get that one back. It's not going to find its way in the back of the net now, though, as the Eclipse are right back on the counterattack after that failed offensive attack.
And you know what's my favorite things about failures is that each failure can lead to a success, because you can learn from what just happened. Don't get me wrong, I think they had the right idea. I think that was the perfect play for the Hive to pull off. But now you really just need to make 1, maybe 2 adjustments, and that play is going to pay off. I say try that again.
Yeah, that was a great setup and really just great awareness from Fairway to go for that bump, but not going to find it, and it left them very vulnerable. So if you're going to go for those plays, make sure that you're able to finish them.
Absolutely, and it's just like every other single sport. It's one thing to execute and get it done and get past the opposition, but all that matters is if it finds the back of the net. Just like that, Silence just ringing a little bit of truth to my words here, was able to get past one and the other defender and was able to ring the sidebar and put that one right behind the net, and that will be an insurance goal. 3-1 now in favor of the Eclipse.
Yeah, the Eclipse looking very good, kind of getting back to their old form. This matches, like you said, their highest lead that they've had in a game, and they have no signs of slowing down as this game continues to roll on. The Eclipse look poised to run away with yet another game if this amount of pressure they are putting on keeps up.
Yeah, really, I mean, at this point, though, I still have a whole lot of faith in the Hive, because we know that they can execute. They're getting the job done. It's not like they're getting shut out every play. So, in my opinion, I can definitely see them making some type of comeback. They just need to take what they know and their skills, especially mechanically. We've seen them take the ball from them by themselves and do some solo mechanics, but now they need to get involved with each other a little bit. Start utilizing the fact that you have another teammate on the board and start spreading out the field a little bit.
Yeah, I like that idea. We saw all of the goals from the Hive, maybe save for one, had an assist attached to it. No assists on the side of the Hive in the last one, and maybe that's the difference maker. Maybe they need to start looking for each other on the pitch a little bit more and kind of cut out the solo plays that we've seen, and maybe that is going to be sort of their secret sauce to getting back into this game.
Yep, now Fairway headed towards their own corner, putting this one up nice and high. And here comes Fairway with the follow-up touch. Well done, as this one goes right back into the corner. And now here comes Wubby and is met again by OG Chris. This will be going back the other way. Scoring opportunity, no. Fairway is there to get the save and to clear it away. Silence now with the follow-up touch, followed again by OG Chris. Puts it in the danger, but Fairway has plenty of time to send that one right back to the other side.
Yeah, Fairway, lots of time. Not a lot of time here for the Hive. Got to get a goal in and got to get one in soon. That's going to be a quick back pass. OG Chris, though, ready for it, able to get it cleared out. Wubby going to take control in their offensive end. Fairway gets a good shot off the crossbar. Unfortunate follow-up. No good there for Wubby. Not able to put that one in. 10 seconds now left on the clock. Something's got to happen now, and I don't think that the Hive are going to be able to get possession of this ball again. This ball touches the ground. The Eclipse take game 3, now securing the series and poised to take a sweep in this series.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but a sweep's a sweep. Bring out the broomsticks. The Eclipse literally just eclipsed the Hive 3-0, so you can't be mad about it. They outperformed, they played well, and I think, honestly, they might have put in just a little bit more practice time than maybe the Hive have. If I was the Hive, especially if my coach was watching right now, coach is going to be putting me into free play, making me practice, and definitely having me hitting those training packs, because there were so many opportunities that the Hive had. They were able to give themselves the opportunities and set up some good plays, but like you said, it was about that execution that they just simply didn't have. So if you can fine-tune that just a little bit more and, being able to hit the shots when you get them and make sure that you finish the play, then we're going to see a much closer game.
Yeah, and this really is Rocket League. It's a game of inches. It's a game of small sort of course corrections throughout a match. And if you can make those, you can definitely keep yourselves in these games. The Hive have not they've been off by the slightest of margins on a lot of these chances. And if they can sort of get that dialed in, get the consistency up to a level where they are finally starting to hit the shots, hit these passes, hit the saves, they're going to be looking a lot better. They can't take the series win, but taking these last 2 games would be massive for the morale on the team.
Oh, 100%, and that's the most important thing. And I was about to reiterate that again. As we're getting another lobby set up, but I just wanted to reiterate. MLE, here at Minor League Esports, we play all 5 games. So even if you're going down 3-0 and you got swept, big deal. We still got 2 other games to play, and you could still make one heck of a statement. And then not to mention, you can use the extra 2 games to get some of that practice we were talking about. Start trying new things. Maybe start working on some things that weren't really working for you before. Now use these 2 games and take advantage of them. Nothing's done yet. I mean, the series, yeah, sure, but you can still use these 2 free games as an opportunity, not only to pad the stats a little bit, but to work on your game itself.
Yeah, and I just want to give a quick shout out very fast here to the production. That was one of the quickest lobby resets I've ever been a part of. And man, oh man, we are right back into the action. 10 seconds only off the board now. And it looks like the Eclipse are trying to get something going. Now the Hive back the other way, off the post, off the other post. Not going to find its way in. That is so unfortunate there for the Hive. What a great opportunity right in the beginning of the game.
A great opportunity, but once again, what we have seen from the Hive is the lack of execution. But hold the phone, and it's still okay. That wasn't lack of execution. That was defensive prowess. I got to give credit where credit is due. The Eclipse really came in clutch on that one. But geez Louise, how many times did the Hive hit towards the net? And I like every time I see this when one team is just constantly peppering the net and they just can't get it. I call it buttering the biscuit, but finally they were able to risk it for the biscuit and send that one home. Eventually one will fall. It is 1-0 now in favor of the Hive.
Man, oh man, if the goals are all going to be that hard to come by, how do the Hive cope? That is an amazing amount of defense that we saw from the Eclipse, despite that massive pressure from the Hive. They're finally able to get one in. They're looking real good in this one. I think this is the best start they have had yet, but that was not easy to come by for them.
Yep, let's see if the Hive will strive as they now have a 1-goal lead. And I think it might be the first time they've actually taken a lead against the Eclipse. So who knows, maybe this is the momentum they need, the momentum shift that they could use to maybe get a couple of wins on the board here. But only time will tell, as Fairway taking their time and getting bumped from Silence as another shot on, and a double commit will come up with the save from Wubby and Fairway in a pass coming off the backboard. Silence, a nice self pass with the follow-up on top the crossbar. Fairway gets in the way and is able to get the save to clear it away.
Yeah, and that really looked a lot like the Hive on the last possession, just peppering the net, getting that pressure up. That is what we have seen them do all series long. It doesn't pay off for them there, as the Hive able to keep that one from getting into the net. 4 saves for Fairway now. He is just a defensive master on the pitch at the moment.
Yep, and now a counterattack right there in the midfield from Silence will ring a little bit of truth here with a tie game at 1-1. This was a great play here, just controlling the midfield. And a good 50 win, of course, you know, coming off of OG Krish on that play, but Silence was in the right position right there, just holding the line at the midfield, and was able to catch the defense out of position.
Yeah, and that clear just gets a little bit outside of where Wubby can reach, and now we find ourselves tied yet again in the series. Fairway tries to put that one on, but it's just a tad bit too slow, as Silence is going to clean this one up, clear it out to the corner, get it to OG Krish, who puts it off the offensive corner. Wubby right back the other way, though, is no one ready for that pass. Fairway trying to get this one going. Silence yet again gonna put a stop to any attack that we're seeing, and now this ball dangerously in front of the net. No one gonna get scored on that time, though, and the Hive try to get this one out and reset.
And then Silence and OG Krish, a little lack of communication on the wall there. They were bumping each other down the field, but now a scoring opportunity will be cleared away by Fairway. But I gotta say, for the most part, I haven't seen too many mishaps coming from the Eclipse, and now it's starting to seem like they're starting to make a few more mistakes, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see... And there it is, cast occurs. Never mind, I take back what I just said. Silence somehow able to get this jump shot all the way downfield with no defensive opposition. Not sure what happened there. I guess Fairway just couldn't make it back in time.
Yeah, Fairway maybe a little bit low on boost on the return back to the defensive end. Can't get back in time. OG Krish looking for that redirect. Doesn't need to do it to get the ball in. And now the Eclipse finding themselves in a familiar position. 1 goal up, time ticking down. Hive still needing to get an equalizer now.
Yeah, I mean, and still, it's that 1-goal difference that we've seen time and time again coming from the Hive. You know, we know that they can do it. It's just I don't know what it is. They just need to shake something loose. Like, I mean, I get it, it's a stream game. You know, maybe they got the nerves, maybe they got the jitters. I'm not sure, but it just seems like the Eclipse are completely unfazed, and the Hive just cannot get from underneath the Eclipse.
Yeah, and we talk about it a lot. All the games that we play matter. But let's put it into perspective here. This is the second week. I'm sure that there are still some cobwebs in terms of sort of synergy with your teammate this early on in the season. Maybe that's what we're seeing from them, and maybe that is something that this series is going to help them sort of get sorted out and put together as we continue this long sort of stretch of the 10 weeks, 12 weeks, however many it is in the season. I can't remember at the moment, but this is definitely going to be something that they can learn from. They weren't looking for each other enough in this series, I don't think, and if they can start doing that, they are definitely going to be a lot better off.
And a beautiful save coming from Fairway there, getting in the way and able to hit that one down. Now a counterattack inbound on target, but Silence will put that shot to a screeching halt. Still 2-1, and now approaching 10 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, and just a quick peek at the stats here. Lots of shots coming in for both teams. Eclipse slightly edging out the Hive in that stat line, but man, oh man, the saves, 8 on the side of the Hive. That just goes to show the amount of pressure and the amount of shots on target that the Eclipse were putting on. It was just insurmountable in this 4th game, and we will see if the Hive are finally able to climb that mountain and get a game win in the last one of the series here.
Yeah, and now that we're so far along in the series, that was like game number 4. We're starting to see that both teams kind of have each other's numbers, and that's why the scoreline was kind of a little low, and there wasn't a lot of action being taken place. Like, don't get me wrong, there was a ton of shots and of course a ton of saves, but not really one getting too much advantage over the other. It really just came down to one mistake, one small flaw, and one really good pass play. That was really the only difference. And when we're looking at it. Again, 2 goals coming from the Eclipse, both off of a pass play. 1 goal from the Hive, it was a pass play. So, it just came down to that one small bit of difference. That one play was the difference between the Hive and the Eclipse in this game.
Yeah, and I've said it already, this cast, the game is a game of inches, and that is what we are seeing. These teams, like you said, are getting to the groove. They are feeling each other out. That process is well and done. They know how each other play. They know how their opponents play. It is just a matter of executing on the plays that you are given. And if we can see the Hive do that, they can get this final win. But the Eclipse have just been really good all night. They have been doing exactly sort of what we have been harping on, and they are doing it well.
Yep, and I don't see any reason for them to stop now, because padding the stats will work for them as well as the Hive. And now a shot opportunity will fly right on by. I thought that was going to be a goal early, but instead this will go the opposite direction now, going towards the Eclipse half as Fairway could not get past OG Krish. And now it's Wubby with a chance here. Gets the up and over, the swish and flick, the Wingardium Leviosa. It will go in 1-0 now for the Hive.
Yeah, the Hive take a quick lead again. This is the second time they're looking really good. The pass was available, and I believe, yes, Wubby decides not to take it. Gonna put that one in himself. Hive up early in this one. Please, I hope that they can hold on to it. This would be such a good match or a good series if they could get a win for us here.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see a win, because nobody really wants to see a one-sided victory in any sport or any competition. So I'm very much rooting for the Hive, but I need to hear it in the chat as well. If you're rooting for the Hive, they need your help. Root for them a little bit. Put your hands up. Do whatever it is that you got to do. They need you right now. This is it. This is the last game of the series. Can they take a dub, and can they put an L on the scoreboard for the Eclipse?
Well, it remains to be seen. This ball kind of dangerous in the corner now, but that's going to be a whiff from Silence. He's going to find his way back to it, though, and he's going to put that one in. I cannot believe the tactical whiff strat finally paying off in a Rocket League match. That one's going to go in, and we have ourselves a tie game yet again.
Now, you see, I've already said it. I've said it before. Tactical whiffs is, in fact, a mechanic in Rocket League. Tactical whiffs they're very real. 100% real, and we just seen it pay off in full effect. But can we just shout out the mechanical prowess coming from Silence? That's 2 back-to-back dribble moves, just swerving in and out of defenders, and a little bit of mind games being played on Wubby. Silence has been practicing some 1v1s.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. Someone is definitely hitting not just the 2s and 3s playlist, but also giving some love to the 1v1s in ranked. That is definitely just great sort of awareness of the situation that he was in. Low on boost for sure, but Fairway gonna put a stop to the party, gonna put another goal in for the Hive, and gonna tie us up just over halfway, or just under halfway through this match.
And now, this is something we haven't seen much from the Hive. These corner pass plays, like, I was expecting to see them a lot more, because to me that's like kind of the big meta when you're going for the pass play. You wanted it to come out from the corner, and we just haven't seen a lot of that coming from the Hive for some reason. And now when they finally just, I'm sure they've attempted, but now when they break it out when it matters, especially down here in Game 5, it pays off. But unfortunately, they were pushed up just a little bit too far again, got caught napping, and the counterattack from Silence getting past yet another defender to make this now 3-2 in favor of the Eclipse.
Yeah, and I really like the mindset that the Hive were on for that attack, but it was just a little bit too slowly executed, and Silence, definitely no one to sleep on, was able to get that touch over one and gave himself the free opportunity on the other end. And now Eclipse once again with a lead in this last game here. Are they going to hold on to it, or are the Hive going to finally take a game off of them?
And you know how we're actually watching some really intense good competition? Like, the game does not go by by extraordinarily fast. When you get like a 0-0 game, then yeah, the game's gonna go by fast because no one's scoring. But right now, like we're barely approaching halftime at this point, and there's been 5 goals scored. That's how you know we're watching some pretty close, intense Rocket League.
Yeah, for a second I thought the time was just ticking up, but yeah, this game is at a standstill at this point. Lots of goals getting put in. The Hive gonna put that one in. What a fantastic challenge on that ball. Fairway gonna tie us up once again, and this is definitely the best that we have seen from the Hive. Can the Eclipse keep their form, or are they gonna stumble here?
And that was just a great read from Fairway. Nice little chip shot, putting it right dead center of the goal. And again, nothing too fast and not a laser, but still was able to find the defense napping and take advantage. And just a really good read off of the defense, which is honestly my kind of play style as well. I like letting the defense get the touch and then try and read off of that. And that's exactly what Fairway did. And now we are tied up at 3 as Silence gets another swish and flick, looking to score here, but is met by Wubby.
Yeah, met by Wubby, and the Hive are keeping these attacks under wraps. Nothing really happening here for the Eclipse in the last few until, oh, nope, that one also going to get bottled up, and the Hive are looking really good. They just have to kind of start firing on all cylinders, or rather keep firing on all cylinders and keep this attack up. That is a great read. It's not going to be on target, but can they finish it? No. OG Krish gonna clear this one out to the safety of the corner, but it's right back in the middle. Wubby, not a lot of boost, finally gonna collect that 100 boost and not able to get an attack going off of there as Fairway gonna fly past the ball. Wubby having to make a stop, gonna do just that, and this game is getting more and more intense by the second.
Yeah, and I even call, like, I don't want to say I knew it was about to happen, but you know, you get that feeling in your gut when you're watching a play unfold and you're like, hang on, this might not end well. When Wubby went up and got the save initially, it was still high up in the air and it was going to drop right there back in front of the net, but Wubby had to use literally all of their boost to get a second touch to clear that one out, and then all Silence had to do was just barely get there before the defender to get it past the one player. And if we've been noticing anything today, it's that Silence can handle a 1v1 scenario.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Silence is the most comfortable in a 1v1 scenario that we've seen in the match, and takes full advantage of the opportunity he was given, takes advantage of that missed clear there from Wubby, and now they are once again in the lead. They just have to hold on for 50 more seconds, and then this game is all over, and we will see a 5-0 for the Eclipse, but the Hive are not going to go down without a fight.
I would really hope not, because I just don't want to be a 5-0 for anybody. It doesn't matter. It could be my favorite team, could be my most disliked team, but luckily the Hive managed to stay alive and tie this game back up at 4 with 34 seconds left on the clock.
34 ticks left, and definitely anybody's game. This has been the most back and forth that we have seen throughout the match, and definitely don't know who's going to take it. It could be anybody. That's a fantastic shot, though, but a fantastic save on the other end from Silence, keeping that one out and keeping the Hive honest.
And now it's going to be OG Krish who's going to send this one out to the side, met by Wubby as he goes up high, and it will go right back down to Silence. Perfect positioning, perfect read off the touch, and will walk this ball right on in like they're walking their dog in the park. No problem for Silence, 5-4.
Yeah, and this is eerily similar to one of the other goals we saw from Silence, just perfect positioning, taking advantage of the overcommitment from the Hive, able to just walk that one down, and now 10 seconds left. And oh no, that one is also going to go in for the Eclipse. It is still technically possible, but man, oh man, is it going to be tough for the Hive to get one. I don't think it is in the cards today.
Like, to be completely honest with you, I'm getting engaged this year, and still the Hive are committing way too much for me. Like, that's just too much commitment. And honestly, it's just one of the biggest flaws that I've even pointed out from their first game, and it just kind of like just transitioned to the next and the next and the next, and eventually, you know, we're at this point. You know, you gotta remember, when you're playing twos, you cannot go too far up haphazardly. Even in the beginning of the game, like in the very first game, you know, we noticed the Hive getting a lot of demolitions on the Eclipse in their net. But as the series went on, the Eclipse pushed their line of defense to the midfield, and the Hive tried meeting them there and weren't getting those demos as the Eclipse pushed their line of defense up. So then they just kept getting caught, pushed way too far up time and time again, and ultimately it led to their defeat.
Yeah, and if they were a little bit more accurate, or maybe not accurate is the right word, but if they were able to sort of stick with that demo heavy sort of mentality, maybe that would have helped them out. That would have gave them the space that they needed to complete the plays that we saw them nearly complete. But like you said, or maybe I said it, I can't remember now, but just not in the cards for them tonight. But definitely a lot to think about, a lot to learn from, and definitely nothing to hang your head about. I know it's a 5-0. I know it looks bad, but you guys, the Hive, definitely played very, very well throughout the entire series, never sort of giving into the pressure that the Eclipse gave them. And I got to just say, hats off. That was a great series to watch despite that scoreline.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it, folks. The first series of our casting rounds in the books, and we have more Rocket League action yet to come right here on Minor League Esports, presented by APM Music. So don't even think about going anywhere. Captain's orders.